Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Holographic, the 80s icon of drag. Today, we're going to be talking about my experience going to Jemcon 2025. Showtime Synergy. Now, first, I just want to address, because I'm sure people are wondering, Jem, where have you been the last couple of months? We've missed you so much. Well, I missed you guys too, and I just want to say, the last couple of months, I took a step back from social media in general, just to focus on finishing up Chucky replicas and other things that I have going on outside of content creation. However, we are back, we are in full swing, and I really look forward to making new content for you guys. With that being said, I do want to talk about Jemcon. Now, if you don't know, Jemcon is an annual convention where fans of Jem and the Holograms come together and put on a 3-day convention, and this year it was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Since I had moved back to Atlanta and it was really close, I said this year was going to be my first ever Jemcon. And I actually got involved in more of the behind the scenes stuff when I volunteered to be a part of the fashion committee. If you don't know, every year Jemcon runs a fashion contest where fans get to design their own custom fashions, and whichever design wins gets made into actual fashions. These fashions fit the original Hasbro dolls, the Integrity dolls, and now the new TLS dolls. I was really honored to be a part of the fashion committee, and if you went to Jemcon, you got a souvenir fashion. I was in charge of making the dresses and the tights, and I did have help with the dresses from my wonderful fashion committee partner, Tur. So thank you, Tur, for all the help. And I knew my involvement in the fashion committee, I was going to be going to Jemcon this year. I also just bought a car not too long ago, so congrats to me. Thank you guys, thank you, oh my god. But I just bought a car, so I knew that it was gonna be way easier for me to get to and from North Carolina, and that's exactly what we did. Now, I did not attend Jemcon alone. My business partner, creative partner, and best friend Akeem also went with me to Jemcon. And also, my mom really wanted to go on Saturday, so we all drove from Atlanta to Charlotte, North Carolina, and our journey actually started on Wednesday. Just to backtrack a little bit as well, one of the pre-convention activities was actually going to be a variety drag show at Snug Harbor in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was asked by the organizers of the show to perform, so of course I said yes. And for this show, I did spend a little bit of time making a custom outfit, which you can see I'm wearing right now. I'll also post a full body picture so you can see. And this is actually based off of a knockoff fashion that was created by Totsi, using the same fabric that they used for Roxy's pants in the original Hasbro line. And when I saw this knockoff fashion, I knew I had to have it for me because it looks so crazy, it's iconic, and I really love this costume. But that's the reason why we left on Wednesday, is because I had to perform on Thursday. And it didn't make sense to travel for 4-ish hours and then immediately perform. So we arrived at the host hotel at like 8 p.m. on Wednesday. Now, one of the things also that, because you know, life and everything gets in the way, I did have to finish some of the souvenir fashions that I was working on. I didn't have that many to finish, but I knew also that Tur was going to need help finishing their side of the fashions as well. So when I got to the hotel on Wednesday, we got settled in. I started up my sewing machine and I got to work on fashions. Getting to perform after kind of not being on the stage for a while since moving to Atlanta was such an exhilarating experience, and I was so excited to do it. I also got to meet Samantha Newark, hey Samantha, and Britta Phillips, hey Britta, in person after corresponding online and following them online. It was really cool to meet these two iconic women in person at the show, and also meeting the local talent and talent that came in to perform at the show was really amazing. The show was fantastic. I do have my performances uploaded on my YouTube channel if you guys are interested in seeing what I did. And I also will say that getting to hear Britta Phillips perform the Jem songs live dressed as Jem was a complete like out-of-body experience for me. She is such an incredible performer, and getting to hear her perform these songs, it was incredible. So For Friday, the first half of the day up until about 5 p.m. was all set up and prepped for the conventions. Downstairs, they were setting up the ballroom and setting up the vendor tables and the registration stuff, while upstairs, Tur and I were finishing the souvenir fashions. We really put my sewing machine to work. I mean, Bertha was really going that day, and I was running up and down, delivering fashions, delivering tights, and I was covered from head to toe in glitter because the fabric that we used for the souvenir fashion this year was like a glitter fabric, and it's like you looked at it and your fingers were covered in glitter. And one of the people, Jennifer, who I actually connected with at this year's convention, we became really fast friends. Hey girl. She told me that she just remembered seeing me run down the stairs sweaty and covered in glitter, here's all the fashions that we have, I'm coming back with more, so that was, it was kind of stressful, but it was also a really freeing experience in a way, because we were working towards getting these out for the people that were picking them up at the convention. At 5 p.m. on Friday, the registration opened, and this year itself, for the history of Jemcon, the biggest turnout. They had over 200 registrations, so that first day, the line for registration was so long at 5 p.m. So what I did is I waited until about 6:30-ish when I was actually able to pick up my registration badge, which I have right here. And of course, I had to pick the pink lanyard. They had pink and green lanyards. And of course, for my name badge, I did choose Gem. Now, pretty much all of the artwork for this year's convention was done by 2 artists. The artwork on all the badges was done by Chris Becker, and I followed them for a while. I really love their art style, and it was really cool to see their art on display on all the badges. They had so many different characters. I'll put up a picture here of all of the characters that you could pick, and of course, I chose Gem.
I would also like to shout out Bianca, who did all of the key art for the posters this year. So if you registered, you were able to pick one of 4 designs in the posters. And she also did all of the promotional artwork for the convention and the promotional artwork for the pre-show at Snug Harbor. So shout out to Bianca. She's a fantastic artist. Please go follow her.
And of course, I got a first-time attendee badge because this was my first year at Jemcon. And also at registration, you got a souvenir Jemcon bag, which came with a whole bunch of little buttons and trinkets. Mine is currently full right now of other stuff that I got at the convention, which we will get to. But one of the things I did want to show off is that they did come with little miniature accessories. This one is a mini chocolate and a mini water bottle, and I do have another one here that's another mini chocolate and mini water bottle, and they're the perfect size for the original Gem dolls. Also included in these little gift bags were these cute star pens. I do have a few of these just because I kind of collected little souvenirs from everybody's bags. Another thing that was in here was stickers, and of course there were a bunch of different stickers from different artists, which I really appreciated seeing. And then another thing that was included inside of the gift bags was a little doll-sized t-shirt, which I'm glad I have another one that's pink because my mom gave me hers. But this is a Hasbro-sized doll t-shirt, and I don't know if I'll have any of my dolls wear it, but I think these are so cool and so cute to have. Another thing to get upon registration, one of the hosts this year, Audra, worked with a brewery to create a custom Gem beer. Now this was a hot pink beer, and it says that it is a gluten-free sour with strawberry, dragon fruit, lemon, and lime. And let me tell you, this was really good. And she even gave us a little thing of edible glitter where if you pour it and it would swirl. It was amazing. And the drink itself was really good. I drink mine and I drink Akeem's because he wanted to give me his. So these were given to everybody upon registration as well. My mom also gave me hers, and hers is unopened because I wanted to keep one unopened. After registration, afterwards at around 8 p.m. was an opening party. They did start off with the opening remarks from this year's hosts, which were Twiggy, Jenny and Audra, you guys, I just want to shout out here in this video. You guys did a fantastic job with this year's Jemcon. Like, as a first-time attendee, like, this was such a positive, smooth experience. Everybody that I met was so cool. I know that you guys were stressed on Friday and I was not helping, like, running down with all these fashions, but I'm, like, so glad that my first Jemcon experience was with you guys. There was also, like, a Jemcon 2025, like, video that they showed with just like past Jemcon stuff and some guests that couldn't make it but wanted to give like a video shout out. And then afterwards, Jacques actually did a really difficult trivia game. And you know, I think I'm like the biggest Gem fan, but after that trivia, I'm like, I need to brush up and rewatch the series a few times because next year, you're not gonna get me next year, Jacques. Don't even try. After the opening stuff, they also had like a dance party and karaoke, which I decided not to stick around for because I was still really tired from the night before having performed, and also like I had some fashions to finish, but for the most part, like, I was really tired and I just wanted to go up to the room and relax. So Friday night, I just chilled. I finished all of the fashions. It was only like a few dresses that needed to be made for the fashions, and then I went to bed. Saturday, the vendor hall opened at 9 a.m. and I got to see all the vendors and meet all the vendors. At around 9:45, they had opening remarks from the three hosts, again, just going over what to expect. And then immediately there was a panel all about designing the dolls from the original 80s line all the way to the new TLS line. And this featured Stephanie Iskander and Dina Al-Rafai. Now, Stephanie is a veteran toy designer in the industry. She helped design the Rhea and Synergy. And she's also the creator of the Rama Llama, which
I also completely forgot to mention, just due to the fact that it wasn't mentioned in this panel, but she has mentioned it in other panels that she's done at other Jemcons, is that Stephanie Iskander is also the one who redesigned the second year holograms outfits and gave each of the holograms earrings. So we need to give her props because she's the one who gave us those iconic second year outfits.
We will get back to the llama. Believe me, we will get back to the llama. And Dina is the lead designer on the new TLS Gem line. So it was really interesting to kind of hear like toy design from then and now and how the industry has changed and what standards have changed. Fun fact I wanted to put in here, I didn't get a chance to ask Stephanie this in the panel because it was kind of running a little bit late, but I did ask her after the fact because she did in fact paint the faces for Rhea and Synergy, and she mentioned in the panel that she really only had control of the faces and the hair. And so I asked her what limitations did they place on her, and also was the face sculpts already chosen ahead of time, or did she have the opportunity to pick the face sculpts? And what she told me is that she's the one who picked the face sculpts, and she also had full creative control over how the faces and hair looked. And she actually told me that the produced Rhea doll has a much lighter lip than she originally intended. So the doll that she had on display at her booth, she repainted the lips to be more true to what she originally designed. Dina, who, like I said before, is the lead designer on the Gem line, she gave us a whole like background of how they went about getting the license, one, to do the new dolls, and what went into actually designing the Gem doll. She showed us the mood boards, and one fun thing that she mentioned was that Samantha Fox was actually one of the biggest inspirations behind the new Gem doll, which is funny because I personally have used Samantha Fox as an inspiration for my drag. So it's just, for me, you know, in the lore of Gem Holographic, it's just like, she also mentioned that they were going back and reworking the Pizzazz doll that they showed off at Toy Fair. She showed us that they were adjusting her face sculpt slightly and also her facial screening. Seeing this behind the scenes stuff was really, really cool because you never really get to see like what actually goes into these toys. You just see them finished and on the shelves. You never really get to see a peek behind the curtain and see, well, what was the design decision behind this and what was the design decision by that. And to me, this really shows that like TLS is really listening to what the fans have to say. And this is like a bigger point, which I'll touch on later. The main thing with this new TLS line is that they want us to be vocal. They want Hasbro to know what the fans want so that way they can do it. She also let us know why Glitter and Gold Gem and all of the holograms are online exclusives. And essentially what she said is that in retail, they only gave them 2 spots. So that means Gem and then probably also Pizzazz. So if you haven't already pre-ordered Glitter and Gold Gem and the holograms, which I have not because I didn't have the money like that, but I will be getting them. Trust me, I will be getting them. I'm gonna try my hardest to get them so I can unbox them for you guys here on the channel, but I also just want them for me, guys. But she explained that that's why those dolls are coming out online only versus in retail spaces. One of the other things that Dina also talked about is that next year they will be doing a special Gem 2.0, which she said is gonna have a slightly altered facial sculpt and screening. She will have the 2-tone blonde and pink hair and a different colored dress. What I imagine is that this is going to be more of a recreation of the original doll, which I'm down for. The original Gem is one of my favorites. I love her. So I'm down. I will be first in line. Dina, I'll be knocking on the door. Hey, girl, I'm down for anything you guys do, really. So at the end of the panel, they were gonna have a Q&A, and one of the things that I really wanted to know, because one of the things that I want, and also I've seen other people ask online, is are they going to be doing fashion packs? I mean, these are fashion dolls. Like, I want fashions. I want fashions, and more fashions.
And fashions, and more fashions. Truly outrageous!
So I was really surprised that nobody had asked this yet. So of course, I took it upon myself to ask what was on everybody's mind. And I actually have a clip that I will put in right here. This is a question for Dina. First of all, hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask, this is a thing that I've seen a lot online. First of all, like, I'm a drag performer, you know, I do all this. I really appreciate the body type on the new dolls because it looks like me when I'm in drag. So I'm like, oh, you know, a little doll fantasy, whatever. But you mentioned that the license is ending next year, but I was wondering if there were like any plans or anything to like squeeze out maybe fashion packs?
That's a great question too. Well, I'll tell you, it's definitely on my list, but it's something we have to convince higher-ups to do. So, like I said before, tell us everywhere. Leave comments, write emails, bombard us, like literally be a pest online if you can. Because it helps prove on a different scale that's beyond my control that we want this, we need this, and we want it to happen. But yeah, I would love to do some awesome fashion packs, for sure.
Good question, good answer.
And to just drive home the point that Dina said to everybody was, Hasbro needs to know what the fans want. You have to be vocal, you have to let them know. We want more Gem stuff. We want more Gem stuff. The more that we let Hasbro know, the more that they're gonna let TLS do. So it's very important when you're online, when you're on Hasbro social media, when you're on the Loyal Subjects social media, let them know what you want. We have to come together as a fan community. If we want more fashions and more dolls, we have to come out and say, this is what we want. After the panel, I did get to personally speak with both Dina and Stephanie. I just want to say, Dina is such a cool, down-to-earth person. She's so sweet. She did recognize me from social media, so hey girl. And I just wanted to say, like, it was so cool getting to have like a one-on-one talk with her just about the line and everything, and you know, the insights that she gave everybody. To me, this is such a cool field. Like, toy design is so cool and I'm so into it. As an amateur toy designer myself, like, I am really into the design aspect of toys. After the panel, there is one person who I did need to speak to and I did need to see, and that was Liz Pemberton, who is actually the founder of Jemcon. She did the very first Jemcon and she's been involved in every single Jemcon since. And this year was not only the 40th anniversary of Gem and the Holograms, but it was also the 20th anniversary of Jemcon. So as a celebratory thing and as a thank you to Liz, because she did help me on my Jewel video, I did make a full Jewel custom doll, which I'll show here. More on that doll in a different video, but getting to meet her in person and give her this doll in person, and you know, it was just a really sweet moment that we shared, and I'm really glad that she likes the doll. I'm really kind of excited to see what she does with it, if she dresses it in different outfits and stuff. So that was just a really magical moment. And of course, Liz, if you're watching, I just want to say thank you again for all of your help with that video, and thank you again for bringing Jemcon just to us, because it's such a magical experience and I'm hooked from now on. So once the panel was said and done, I went out and I got photo sessions and autographs with Samantha Newark, Britta Phillips, after meeting them again after the Snug Harbor show, but I got official like autographs and photos, and I actually do have in my little Jemcon bag, I do want to show off what I got here, but I actually do have Britta's autograph here because Samantha's is really large. I'm gonna get it framed, but this is Britta's autograph that she gave me. Of course, I had to get this promotional photo. This is one of my favorite photos from the cartoon, and it says, "To Gem Holographic, stay outrageous, love, Britta Phillips, aka Gem." And she is so sweet, you guys. She is so sweet. She's so down to earth. And Britta, I can't wait to see you again next year at Jemcon in San Diego. And I will put up a picture of Samantha's autograph here so you guys can see it. Again, it's just really big and I don't want to get it ruined, so that's why I don't have it. At Stephanie's booth, she was selling this little 4-page comic that she made about what happened after the Gem line was canceled. It is a Gemcon exclusive, so I'm not going to show you the actual contents of the comic, but it is such a cute little comic. And again, the Rama Llama, which I promise we're gonna get to the Rama Llama. And then I also got her autograph on one of my favorite photos from the second year, and this is the back of the holograms box. You just see there's Kimber, Aja, and Shayna over there. I had to get this print in her autograph, so thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for being such a cool person and putting up with my annoying questions. Aside from the actual like fashion contest souvenir fashions, they did also have these souvenir fashions, which I knew I had to get one of them from my collection, and this is going to stay in the clamshell. I'm not going to take it back. And fun fact, guys, I actually drew the background design. The fans and the cassette tape was my artwork, and I donated it for this year's Gemcon. But I had to get one of these souvenir fashions. I think they're so cool, and honestly, I'm gonna steal the concept, guys, for my Etsy shop. More on that in a different video. But it just features this t-shirt dress, and then comes with a necklace and heels, and I assume a hair ribbon, some sunglasses, and a belt for the dress, which if I was going to be taking this out in dress, I would, but I'm not. And this is from Gemcon 2021, actually. So I don't know if this was like the t-shirts and they had these out, or they made them specifically for that convention, but I was really looking to get one of these, and I'm so glad I got this one because it looks really nice, and I'm really excited to have this for my Gemcon wall, so it'll be hung up on my wall. Another thing that I got from one of the vendors, Alana, she created this little fan comic all about the Stingers, and I'm not going to go, again, too much into it. If you want a copy of this, you can contact Alana. It was such a cute comic. The story was so cute. I just wanted to say it was really cool getting to buy one of these and read it. The story was so cute. After I got all my autographs, I wanted to mingle and get to know some more people in the gem sphere. So after I got my autographs and I got all the things I wanted to purchase from the vendor tables, I then spent a couple of hours mingling, and I met some really cool people. Saturday night was, of course, the cosplay contest, and I knew that I had to enter the contest. Now this year they were doing 2 different categories. It was traditional gem cosplay, which is just pick a look, cosplay it, that's it. And then there's the second category, which is one I entered, was culture clash. Essentially just like an original concept, a different interpretation, mixing of fandoms. You know, it was kind of like a free-for-all category, and I entered into the culture clash category, and I'll put up a little gif. You can see my costume here. But what I did was that dress that I'm wearing, I actually, Inakim designed it a while ago, and that's our version of like Gem's like original look. You know, it has the sequins, the 2-tone sequins, and of course I wear 2-tone hair, so that's duh. It has the fringe, and it has gloves, and it's just jewelry, and gold trims, and all this stuff. So I entered the costume contest, and I got to see a ton of fantastic cosplay. You guys, Everybody that entered the contest this year, you guys like knocked it out of the park. You guys like knocked it out of the park this year with the cosplay. Everybody looked so good. It was so entertaining to see everybody's costumes. And I actually do have footage of when I walked, so I'll put that here.
Jem is from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, this is fully Jem and 80s inspired. He's a drag artist who also makes screen accurate Chucky replicas. That's what you have right there. He turned old Jem look to make it more drag and even more outrageous. This outfit is made with a two-tone sequin reversible fabric to channel the two-tone hair of the dolls. The shape of the outfit perfectly hugs the shape and accentuates the outrageousness of it all. And we're looking at a mini me here. I love it. Hi! You know, this never used to happen in my shows.
It works every time. I would also like to announce that my little friend here is the official Jem Holographic 12.5-inch fashion doll, available soon on Etsy at Dolls by Jem. She fits original Jem fashions as well as custom fashions coming soon.
May I just know?
10s across the board, by the way. You'll get a free doll.
Seeing scallops on the heels, so she must be a second.
Shoe check. Shoe check.
No, it's second year. Good eye, right, Tina? You didn't get those scallops in the first year. No.
Whatever happened to faith and hope and brotherly love?
The judges for the cosplay contest this year was Christy Marks, Samantha Newark, and Dina Al-Rafai from the Loyal Subjects. And I didn't know like what to expect because I've never done a cosplay contest before. This would be my first one, but I quickly realized that it was kind of like walking a category in a ball. So that's how I approached it, as you guys probably saw from the video. And I did show off my little mini Jem here, which more information on her in a different video. And you guys, I completely did not expect to win the Culture Clash category.
Jem, come on! We know how this goes.
Hold your dolls. A drag queen winning a cosplay competition at Jemcon.
Of this cosplay contest, I was really surprised. I won a beautiful crown encrusted with green jewels, a sash, and a brand spanking new TLS Jem doll, which I have put on its own shelf with my sash, my crown, because your girl is the winner, baby. Yes. I completely was not expecting to win, and like my genuine, like honest reaction, like it was so amazing. And I had to go and thank everybody, like all the judges, like personally, like thank you so much for seeing the vision and appreciating what I did. And everybody was so sweet. Everybody was so kind, and everybody was so sweet and so kind. And just as like a first time Jemcon goer, it just helped make my weekend a little magical. I would have been fine had I not won, like completely, like don't get me wrong. Like if I didn't win, there was a ton of other cosplay that could have won. I'm very thankful that I won, so thank you guys. Now after this, they had karaoke and a dance party, and y'all, I did not stick around for that. I was so tired after doing the cosplay contest and being in drag. Like I was ready to go to sleep. So after the cosplay contest, like, you know, I said, you know, I took a bunch of pictures with people. If you guys took a picture with me at Jemcon, please make sure to tag me on Instagram at Jem_holographic, because I'm missing a ton of photos and I really want to repost you guys to my page. So on to Sunday. In the morning, the first panel featured Sharon Nattel, who actually drew the original artwork for the box art for the original Jem dolls, and Alan Milligan, who was the model for Rio. And their panel was all about the behind the scenes of how Hasbro found Sharon and her process for making the artwork for the dolls and kind of what transpired behind the scenes. There's a little drama there. I was actually really surprised. There was a little bit of drama and tea. I'm not going to get into it here. Let me just say it was quite juicy, but it was interesting to me also as an artist. If you guys don't know, I am not only a doll artist or a drag artist, I also draw, and her artwork is like a huge inspiration for me as well because it's so iconic and it's so beautiful. But it was really interesting to hear her process and how she went about things. She actually had Hasbro get real life models, commission wigs and costumes that resembled the dolls so she could draw them from life. It was so interesting to hear her process about how she went about making the artwork. And that's things, like I said before with like the doll design, like I just love hearing these behind the scenes stories and how it was made and, you know, the process behind it. So that was really interesting. Following that panel, I didn't attend the other ones. I was out mingling with people and getting to know people. I did miss the panel with Samantha and Britta. I really did want to go to that one, but I did miss it, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to have a redo next year, guys. I'm going to your panel next year. You will see me there. But there was a panel all about the history of Jemcon featuring the Jemcon founder, Liz Pemberton, and also Christy Marks, Stephanie Iskander, and Dina Al-Rafai. And they all just talked about kind of their history with Gem and Jemcon. And this was Dina's first ever Jemcon, so hopefully we will see you next year, girl. We're gonna party. Yes, we're gonna party. It was really kind of touching just to hear like everybody's stories with Gem and Jemcon, and especially Liz giving us an insight into, you know, her life a little bit and what brought her to Gem and creating Jemcon. So that was just a really like touching experience for me, and I did get a little like teary-eyed about it because I relate to the stories a lot on a bunch of different levels. So, you know, just hearing that, it was really like nice to hear like more of a personal account of like the creation of Jemcon and the connection with Gem and holograms. At 4:30, they had an autograph session in the ballroom with all of the Jemcon guests. Now this is also the most amount of guests that Jemcon has had. And of course, this autograph session was for the guests that had came in person. So I did get something autographed. I decided to keep all of my posters mint, but what they did have out was actually the key artwork for Jemcon 2026, which is happening in San Diego, California. You can actually pre-register for Jemcon 2026 on the Jemcon website. I will leave the link down below if you guys are interested in going. I will be there, so I hope to see you guys there next year. And they had this on the registration table, so I grabbed a couple. I have one that's mint, and then I have one where I had all of the guests sign for me. This is all of the in-person guests, and I'm going to be framing these like this, so that way I have it, you know, permanently. And then next year, hopefully they'll have the key art for 2027, and I can do the same. So after that was the charity auction, and let me just say I did like bid on a few things. I did not win anything at the charity auction, and anybody who outbid me was a bitch. But anyway, it was kind of intense in the charity auction because one, this is the most money that they've ever raised at the charity auction at Jemcon. There was also an intense like bidding war, and I think that the like final bid for this, I don't even remember what it was, but it was like this person won it for like $1,200, and I was at that table and I was like, you know, getting the hype like, oh girl, like you do it, like get it. So that was a really fun experience. I unfortunately did not win anything from the charity auction, which is fine. Next year though, don't outbid me, you guys. Don't outbid me. That was so rude. After the charity auction, we did get to see a sneak preview of Jemcon 2026, All in the Style in San Diego, hosted by Nick Romero. He brought us through the hotel and all of the guests that are going to be there, or some of the guests, I'm not going to say all. But I did connect with Nick over this weekend, and he is such a cool person. I cannot wait to work with you on the fashion committee this year, and I can't wait for Jemcon next year, so I'm so excited. And it was really cool to kind of get that like sneak peek, because I'm like, oh yes, I will already be there, but seeing this video, like I am gonna go. So throughout the weekend and connecting with Nick, I heard about this chair, the handing off of the chair, and I didn't think that it was going to be like a literal chair. And the chair, of course, meaning the hosting duties of Jemcon. I didn't think it was an actual chair. So, surprise to me, after the sneak peek video, we have the 3 hosts, Twiggy, Jenny, and Audra, handing off a literal chair from the Rock Backstager playset to Nick.
Are you ready to
Yes, right. Bring Kristen here.
Which was so, like, heartwarming, but also, like, funny to see, like, this literal chair from the Rock Backstager getting handed from this year's hosts to the new host. Like, it was really, like, kind of funny. I was not expecting. I even turned to the person next to me. I'm like, it's a literal chair from the Rock Backstager, and they're like, yes. So it was really cool to see the handoff of the chair, and I will upload the full video to my YouTube so that not only do they have it, but that you guys can see the whole, like, chair handoff ceremony. The unfortunate part is that I did not go to the dinner, and that is something that, looking back on it, I didn't go because, well, I really didn't have the money to pay for the extra dinner. But I do kind of regret not going, just because it seemed like, you know, such a great way to, like, end off the convention. And next year I will be at that dinner. And it was a buffet style this year. So next year, if it's a buffet style, they better be ready, because listen, your girl loves the good buffet. But another thing is that my mom wanted to leave at like 7:30 because she had a flight from Atlanta back to Tampa. And so we decided that we were gonna leave really early. So that meant that we had to get all of our stuff packed and get, you know, good enough sleep because we had a 4-hour drive ahead of us. And that's exactly what happened. At 7:30 on Monday, we drove back to Atlanta, capping off our magical weekend at Jemcon. And even over a week later, I'm still sitting here reminiscing about those 3 days. It really was, like, it might sound like ridiculous and corny, but it really was like a really magical experience. I went in with no expectations. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know, like, the amount of cool people that I was going to meet, and people that knew me from online, just even out of drag, getting called, oh my god, are you? And I was like, yes. You know, the Gem fans are some of the most amazing fans out there, I think. I truly believe. We really are like a special bunch of fans. And I just wanted to say to this year's hosts, Twiggy, Jenny, and Audra, you guys did a fantastic job. And I want to thank you as a first-time attendee for making my first Jemcon magical, and I'm so glad I was able to help this year with souvenir fashions. And, like, I really hope that you guys got out of it what we all got out of this year, because it was a fantastic convention. You guys really knocked it out of the park, and I just want to say thank you. And guys, like I mentioned before, if you did see me at Jemcon this year and you have pictures and videos that we took together or that you took that you want to share, please tag me on Instagram at Gem_holographic. And if you're in any of the Gem fan groups, you'll probably find me there under my boy name. I'm not going to say that here. Please tag me in the photos. I want to see all the photos. So please show me all the photos that you guys have. I'll share you guys to my story. I'll share you guys publicly, like on Facebook. If you guys have any photos from Jemcon that you want me to see, please let me know. Please send them to me. I'd love to see them. And that is going to wrap it up for this Jemcon 2025 retrospective. If you went to Jemcon and you have other experiences, or you went to some of the other panels and you want to share information down in the comments, please feel free to do so. I would love to hear about some of the panels that I missed. I already knew going into it I wasn't going to attend all of the panels, but I did miss some of the ones that I did want to go to. So if you guys went to all of the panels and you have more information, please let me down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experience of Jemcon. And are you excited for Jemcon next year? Are you going to go to Jemcon next year? Make sure that you click the link in the description and pre-register now, so that way you can go ahead and get your spot. We're going to make Jemcon 2026 the best, okay? I'm so excited. And that is gonna do it from me, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in a comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any one of my new uploads. And if you'd like to tip a drag queen in need, my tipping information will be in the description, as well as right here. And also a new thing, which if you watched my previous video, you're going to know that I actually have a Patreon now, and if you'd like to support me on Patreon, it is $5 a month. I will leave that in the description down below as well. No obligations, of course, but it will help me out. Thank you. And don't forget to follow me on all of my socials. And that's gonna do it from me, you guys. I hope you have a great day, night, or evening, and I will see you in the next video. As always, be bold, be beautiful, be truly, truly outrageous, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
And I would like to take a second to thank my patrons. I would like to thank Liam and Corey. And in my holograms tier, Neverfilth and Aaron, thank you guys so much for supporting me over on Patreon. If you would like to become a patron, the link to my Patreon will be down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for enjoying my content. I will see you guys very soon.